Check tcgcastle.com and get 5% discount on your first purchase with TCG Center 5 code. You can also trade your Pokemon bulk for a new Sun.
How's it going, guys? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, I'm gonna play with one very interesting budget build in a standard format. So this is gonna be Absol featuring Dugtrio, Alolan, and of course a Banette with the tool concealment in play. So the main strategy of the deck will be just simply to use Absol, use the Doom News, put all energies attached to this Pokemon back in your opponent in your hand, and at the end of your opponent next turn, the defending Pokemon will be knocked out. So if our opponent cannot retreat, and of course if we have Banette in play, he's not going to be able to use the advantage of the Flow Stones, we can simply crushing and Enhanced Hammer his energies from play and force him maybe to just simply lose the game by not being able to retreat or to knocks out our Absol. On the other side, there is also one copy of Oranguru, one line of the Octillery, and one Tapu Lele for that setup and extra drop support. Featuring one copy of Tapu Lele, you can actually play Tapu Lele with the Ultra Ball turn 1 for that very powerful Brigette, and then you can simply set up with your Brigette for so many different basic Pokemons, which is just crazy good in this build. 16 Pokemons, 36 trainer cards, and then 8 energies. From the item cards, I'm running, of course, 4 Crushing Hammers and 1 Enhanced Hammer, so I can disrupt my opponent energies in play. In addition to that, 1 copy of Field Blower, because I can, with Field Blower, discard any Pokemon Tool card or Stadium from play, so it's pretty cool. 4 Max Elixirs, so we can have that extra energy acceleration down to our Absol for that Doom News. Of course, once we used our Doom News, we really want to have another Absol turn 2 available for the attack. 4 copies of Puzzle of Times, 1 Super Rod, 2 copies of Switch. We really don't want to play Escape Rope, so we can't use Escape Rope or Float Stone, so we really want to use at least Switch. After we use our Doom News and we don't have energies, we can just play Switch. And Max Elixir energy attachment from hand to Absol on the bench, and then just go with Switch for another Doom News. From the cards that can search my Pokemons in this build, I'm gonna run 1 Timer Ball and 4 copies of Ultra Balls, mainly because with the Ultra Ball we can get rid of some of the supporter cards from our hand. And basically search your deck for any of these Pokemons here. 3 copies of V Seekers, no need to run 4, just because we're running 3 pieces of puzzles. 1 copy of Brigette, 1 copy of Hex Maniac, you know, never know when you can use it and when can be good. Same as the Lysandre. For the drop support, running 3 copies of N and 4 copies of Professor Sycamores, also including 1 Teammates, because this deck really needed, especially when you lost one of your Pokemons, you can just simply grab Teammates. And that's pretty much it. And of course, 8 Darkness Energies in total. So basically with the 8 Darkness Energies, you can simply go for the Doom News, and with the Max Elixirs you can also power up any of your benched basic Pokemons that you have. So also Tapu Lele-GX can be backup attacker with the Energy Drive, as well as the Oranguru. If you're looking for any of these cards, you can find them on tcgcastle.com with TCG Center 5 code. You can also get 5% discount on your first purchase. Looking to trade maybe your bulk in the exchange for the Guardian Raising Booster Box, you can also do that. It's available worldwide, and link is provided in my video description, so make sure to check the video description. Also, if you're looking for the deck list, you can simply copy-paste the deck list from my video description into the game as the import function of the Pokemon trading card game online game. So let's do some game tests so you can actually see this deck in action. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you already didn't. Also, let me know in the comments below what you think about this cool deck. So see you in the game. Alright, so waiting my opponent to load his game. And of course for that coin flip, so we can see who's gonna start first, who's gonna start second there. Alright, so it looks like I lost the coin flip, which means that I'm starting second here. Let's take a look at the opening hand. Okay, at least opening hand looks decent. Decent in my opinion, because I have Ultra Ball available, which means I can grab myself something like a Brigette with the advantage of my Tapu Lele, of course, if it's not priced. And then of course I can set up 3 Pokemons on my bench. On the other side, Dartrix, Rowlet, and the CGI line. So the CGI probably featuring Lugia and Vileplume. But I mean, so far so good. Under the item lock, I'm not gonna be able to use any of my item cards, of course, which is a huge disadvantage. But on the other side, there can also be advantage for me, as for example, I can always Lysandre and one-hit knockout if he don't have Floatstone available on his Vileplume. If he, of course, play Vileplume, but in this case, he don't play Vileplume. Since I saw the Fighting Fury belt here, I can expect maybe to see Tauros as a miracle, of course, attacker here, or maybe even Lugia. Really not sure. But so far, not the best start for my opponent, I can definitely tell that. Okay, there is a timer ball, and it will be one hands on the coin flip. As long as there's not gonna be any sign of the, of course, Vileplume, I think I can easily beat this game without too many problems. So there's a trainer's mail for a timer ball, of course. Of course, I will need my Banette first in play. That's the most important part of this deck. So you can pretty much prevent your opponent from being able to use those tool cards. I mean, he can still play tool cards from his hand, but they will not have any effect, which is pretty cool. And mainly this is because of the Floatstone. So it's my turn, and my top deck is a Max Elixir. I'm thinking about Ultra Balling something like a Switch and Professor Sycamore. Will there be Tapu Lele? It will be. And there's also a Brigette. That's fine. Okay. So, we'll play my Tapu Lele, put it onto my bench, of course, in exchange for the Brigette. With the Brigette, I can grab myself 3 extra Pokemons and mainly set them on the bench. So that's gonna be for one more Absol, one Shuppet, and I think I can even go with something like a Remoraid, so I can have that very important Abyssal hand in a late game. Theoretically, I can even suffer from the knockout here, but I will go very risky here. So there's one Max Elixir, and I will also hit one energy card. And more than that, since I'm gonna play my Sycamore next turn for 7, I will just play that Puzzle of Time. So let me see. The top deck can be Max Elixir, or maybe Crushing Hammer, or maybe Max Elixir. Tell you one thing. Let's just go with the top deck as a Crushing Hammer. Right here, I will just use my Future Sight and look at the top 4 cards of my opponent deck. Let me see something. I think that the best thing is to set double Chorus Energy so he can discard it, and then set more double Chorus Energies, and then the Fighting Fury belt and a Trainer's Mail. So he's gonna top deck that double Chorus Energy, of course. And if he wants to Sycamore for 7, he will need to discard one of the double Chorus Energies. I mean, it's not a big deal if I lose one of my Absols. There's a Grass Energy, which I was very afraid, but at least I forced him to discard a double Chorus Energy from his hand. So with the CGI in play, he can simply go for the one-hit knockout against my Absol, which is a bad thing definitely here. But I know that I'm gonna top deck something like a Crushing Hammer, and with a little bit of luck I can discard that double Chorus Energy, and I know that he have one double Chorus Energy available in his hand, so I think somehow maybe it will be better to discard that Grass Energy. There's a Floatstone. However, I still don't see the sign of the CGI in play, which is a good thing. But he can still attack with a Leaf Blade for like a 70, maybe Sharp Blade Quill for like a 20 to one of my benched Pokemon's weakness and resistance, of course, are not applying when you attack on the bench. Expect for the... alright, so he's tracked for the 70, which is a good one. The Crushing Hammer will be Tails, so I can just Sycamore for 7. Oh, nice. There is Octillery, there is a Max Elixir, which I will definitely play. More than that, there's a couple options. So I'm thinking about grabbing one Banette in play. Yeah, definitely one Banette in play. And I can still attach my energy, which I'm not even sure if I should do that to my active Absol. Well, let's just put also Oranguru on the bench. Yeah, the problem with the Doom News is simply the nature of the attack, what my opponent can do here. I'm thinking about just attaching one energy to my Tapu Lele-GX, since I can also use him as the attacker. Instruct. Okay, nothing really special here, so I can also Abyssal Hand for 2 more cards. And there are 2 more Absols. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use my future sight, of course, of my opponent deck. Look at this. Look at this. What he have in his discard pile? Nothing really special. So thinking about just putting that Tauros as a top deck, then going as the Trainer's Mail, then the Revitalizer, and then the last card will be the CGI. Of course, I cannot afford myself to use the Doom News here, because if he simply evolve his Dartrix, that's it. He's not anymore the defending Pokemon, then the CGI is the defending Pokemon. I think somehow the rule will change after that. So, there's one copy of N, which means it's okay. I will just drop fresh hand of 6 new cards, and I can maybe find Enhanced Hammer, maybe Crushing Hammer, but looks like that's not gonna happen, unfortunately. But what will happen is, yeah, there is finally the CGI for him. At least he can spread the damage around the board with the advantage of Feeder Arrow. So I can expect 2 damage counters down to my benched Absol. If he wants to retreat, he definitely needs to pay double Cores Energy to do that, so I definitely need somehow to scrap that double Cores Energy and also that Grass Energy from his the CGI. So 2 damage counters. Interesting. So I'm knocked out. I'm not sure what was going on, because the damage counters just randomly disappeared from my Absol, but I knew that there was like 7 damage counters from that attack before, and he decided to snipe my Banette. Okay, that's interesting. That's definitely interesting. So I really need to discard some of the cards from my hand. Ooh, nice. Puzzle of Time is a top deck. Let's see. First, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play my Super Rod, so I can reshuffle back some of the resources into my deck. Second thing I'm gonna do here is gonna be Ultra Ball for Professor Sycamore and for a Timer Ball, so I can grab myself one more Absol. Of course, I really need to have a backup attacker here without too many questions. 1 Max Elixir, 1 energy will go down to my Absol. After that, I'm gonna go with my Instruct. So I'm really desperately looking for those hammers, and unfortunately I cannot find any of them. I still can use my Abyssal Hand. Will I finally get an Enhanced Hammer here? Yes, I will. So, Crushing Hammer, first thing first. There we go, 1 Grass Energy to be discarded. Enhanced Hammer, then I can just discard his energy. And then I'm gonna go with 2 copies of Puzzle of Time, and of course I will grab 1 Enhance, 1 Crushing Hammer, and I will try to disrupt his benched energy with my Crushing Hammer, which will finally happen. And after that I can just use my Doom News. We'll discard 2 energies. Actually, we'll put back 2 energies from my Absol to my hand. And yeah, unfortunately, if he wants to retreat, he definitely needs to have double Cores Energy, but without double Cores Energy, there is not too many options for my opponent. And yeah, it looks like without a DC, well, there is a DC, so if he wants to preserve his CGI, he definitely needs to retreat back to his bench. And there is Lurantis GX. Alright. For me, the best thing right now will be finding Switch, if it's somehow possible. But not sure if that's gonna be possible in this scenario. So I will definitely try to see if I have Switch in my deck. The answer to that question is yes, I have Switch available. So what to do next here is first play Instruct. There we go, there is a Switch. So I will definitely play my Switch down to my Absol. Drop some more cards with my Abyssal hand. Okay, there's also a Lysandre available. 2 retreat cost. Tauros is actually 3 retreat cost. But the problem with the Tauros is that he can actually attack me. How many double cores energies my opponent played? 3 of them. So this looks pretty much promising. A Doomuse for his Lurantis. And yeah, if he can't find another double cores energy for this turn or any kind of the escape rope or something like that, the Lurantis will unfortunately be knocked out. So what he can do here is he can try to use Flower Supply maybe, or find himself somehow a switch. As you can see, there was a Flowstone. He didn't decide to attach the Flowstone, which was a huge mistake in my opinion, simply because once you can get rid of the Banette, you can use the advantage of the Flowstone. But anyways, even if he decided to attach the Flowstone, the only available Pokemon would be just his Lurantis in the active position, so sorry for that. Okay, so his deck is very thin. He have 11 cards available. There's another Feeder Arrow which will be down to my Absol. And he can also strike for like a 40 with his Flower Supply, but unfortunately at the end of his turn the Lurantis is knocked out. Which means only one thing. A couple Crushing Hammers would be very nice here. A Darkness Energy and 1 Crushing Hammer. Well, that's pretty promising. I also have my Lysandre available. If I want to retreat, unfortunately I can't do that. Without paying energy card, of course. That was something I was going to say. Let me see what different options I have here. Not too many different options, unfortunately. I have 1 Crushing Hammer sitting in my hand, which I think I will just keep for later. What I can do right now, right here, is just attach 1 energy to my Tapu Lele. Yeah, unfortunately I even waste 3 pieces of puzzles. I wish I can grab another piece of puzzle. What I can do right now in this position is to just simply Lysandre his the CGI and pass my turn back to my opponent. That's mainly it. Okay, I actually made tiny mistake attaching that energy down to my Tapu Lele, but it's okay. 2 turns for my opponent with the Feeder Arrows, and my Absol unfortunately will be knocked out. So I cannot believe that I actually did that. That was a very huge mistake. That was a very huge mistake because he can actually have double knockout against my Absol. Yeah, even versed to the CGIs, so it's okay that I didn't attach energy in this way. The good thing for me definitely is the fact that I can simply put as many energies as I can to my Tapu Lele, and then I can simply with my energy drive strike for a huge amount of damage. So there's another Feeder Arrow, of course, and that means only one thing. That means that my Absol is knocked out. And right now, 2 different options. First one maybe is to promote Tapu Lele and hope to find maybe that very important card, which will be a VS Seeker. And then I can strike for like 120. And I'm definitely gonna do that. We'll take the risk here with my Tapu Lele. And it's my turn. So the top deck will be another Absol, which is very nice. Abyssal hand for 2 cards. Oh, unfortunately, nope. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. There is no sign of the VS Seeker. Oh, come on. Where are my VS Seekers? Okay, still I can strike for 60. Still I can strike for 60, and Yeah, I didn't play my supporter card. I was just too fast here. I didn't play my N. So I can expect to see a retreat here. And I cannot believe that I didn't. Faceplant, definitely. Right now, he can strike me for like 150 with his GX attack and knocks me out. So that was stupid decision. But at least I know that he discarded all 4 double chorus energies. And pretty much he needs to pull 2 more prize cards here, which will definitely be hard for him. So I'm going to end my opponent down to 2 cards. Oh, nice. There's also Alolan Diglett at this moment, which will be also very strong. 1 Crushing Hammer, so if I get lucky I can maybe even disrupt energy, but that's not gonna happen. Let's first go with Instruct for 1. Another energy. Abyssal Hand for 2. Seeker and Enhanced Hammer. So, what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna use my Doom News. Yeah, I mean, you know what's gonna happen for my opponent, of course. He will be knocked out. Also, there is a huge chance and possibility that my Banette will be knocked out with 2 copies of Feather Arrows. So, on that way, I'm actually gonna lose this game, unfortunately, because right now he can just simply knocks out or even retreat his Lurantis, but probably he's going to knocks out my Absol. If he don't knocks out my Absol, then I actually have pretty damn chance here still to win the game. Simply because he's not going to take 2 prize cards. But what he needs to do here is simply goes with his Solar Blade for like 120. And yeah, he didn't do that. And spread 4 damage counters down to my Banette. And that's all he really needs to do. But unfortunately, he didn't do that. And in my opinion, that's a very big mistake for my opponent. And probably he just lost the game right now. Probably he lost the game right now. Maybe not, of course. But I think he lost it. Especially if I just Lysandre the CGI on the bench. So he really wants to have some resources available on the Tower Rose. There is another N and the Max Elixir for me. That Max Elixir is a very big deal here. But I don't feel comfortable playing it. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm definitely gonna go with my V-Seeker for the Lysandre. One switch will change things dramatically here. But unfortunately I don't have switch. At least I have my Dugtrio, and I'm just gonna attach 1 energy down to my Absol. And for now, I mean, I'm running 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm running 10 energies, but let's just... I'm not sure if I should risk with my Max Elixir right now. Yeah, let's risk. Oh, there is energy card. Okay, I think this is probably gonna be a victory here. But maybe even not. Maybe even not. I think I'm actually gonna lose. Yeah, I'm gonna lose, unfortunately. 2 Feather Arrows. One of these Feather Arrows will definitely knock out my Absol. And then he can spread 2 more damage counters down to my Banette. So that Banette with 8 damage, with 4 damage counters, yeah, that's a GG. That's a GG. But it was damn close game here. It was a very close game. That Feather Arrows saves the day for my opponent. And yeah, he definitely needs to snipe my Banette. If he don't snipe my Banette, then he actually made himself a game loss here. Even worse, there's a Lysandre for my Oranguru, so he can have for sure right now that victory with the Feather Arrow in his hand. And right now, unfortunately, I don't have option to retreat my Oranguru because I lost both switches and 4 pieces of puzzles, and he can simply snipe 2 more damage counters down to my Banette. And at the beginning of his turn, he can then just snipe 2 more feeder arrows, but he just decided not to do it. Once again, he decided not to do it. Okay, that's just crazy. This game is just crazy. Crushing Hammer, let's just discard 1 energy. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just use 1 Abyssal Hand for another Banette and pass my turn. Yeah, I'm not sure why he didn't snipe my Banettes. Feeder Arrow down to my Absol. He's the same. He's the same. Feeder Arrow again down to my Absol. But he could have the game victory if he just sniped my Banette much earlier. And I'm not sure why he didn't do that. However, there's a V-Seeker, but I can't use the advantage of the V-Seeker for nothing here. So what I can do is just pass down to my Absol with 6 damage counters in it. And yeah, I mean, put my Diglett on the bench. Abyssal Hand for 1, what I can find with 1 Abyssal Hand here. Just another Dugtrio. And because I can, but I know that I'm just not gonna get anything. And after that, we can still use 1 Instruct for 1. But the problem is that I simply can't avoid 2 feeder arrows for the knockout. That the CGI is knocked out at the beginning of my turn, but the problem for me is that my opponent only have 1 prize card. And the reason why I actually lost the game is the main because he was able, unfortunately, to knock out my Tapu Lele-GX for the 2 prize exchange. But he could also win this game much earlier, simply if he just decided to snipe my Banette on the bench, and I simply don't see the reason why he didn't do that. But anyways, guys, that was a very intense battle of 23 minutes with this deck in action. The problem for me was the reason that I didn't have a Hex Maniac in the deck, so I couldn't win the game without a Hex Maniac in this situation. And the second thing was that I didn't even have a chance to maybe deck out my opponent with something like a deck out tool. But yeah, I mean, I lost both switch cards and 4 pieces of puzzles in the early game of the early meta of the game, so I was not able to recover later with that switch, with the crucial switch when he goes with the Lysandre for my Oranguru, and basically that was a GG. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Let me know what you think about this deck in the comments below. So yeah, definitely till the next time, stay tuned for more videos. Till the next time, have a nice day. We'll see you in the next video, so goodbye.